Wow, hey everybody. Why am I not surprised that Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers broke up? I think because of all the reports about how she was presented as kind of, well, I'll use the term flighty, right? And this one from Entertainment uh, Online reads like this: reads, according to multiple reports, multiple, that means more than one. According to multiple reports, the couple has broken up and called off their engagement, with a source confirming to E! News that it didn't work out between them. The news comes nearly a year after Aaron first announced their engagement February of 2021. Fans begin to suspect the actress and NFL player were on the outs when Shailene was photographed surfing in Malibu without her ring way all the way back in October. The absence of the engagement ring was made more obvious by the Divergent star's choice of nail polish. All of her nails were painted light pink, save for her ring finger, which is painted black. On November 5th, the Green Bay Packers quarterback confirmed he tested positive for COVID-19 after saying he was, quote, immunized against the virus over the summer. He cited an allergy and his desire to become a father as the reason for declining the vaccine, sharing, that was definitely something that I was worried about and it went through my mind. In Aaron's admission, uh, in Aaron's admission, Shailene posted a cryptic quote to her Instagram saying, sorry, story that read, calm seas may bring you peace, but storms are where you'll find your power. Um, and then it goes on, the athlete and actress spent much of the past year together, but went their separate ways at the end of the summer when the actress started filming her upcoming movie, Robots, while Aaron Rodgers went, to Green Bay to kick off the NFL season. At the same time, an insider told E! Online that Shailene planned to stay with Aaron after filming wrapped up, explaining, quote, they don't like to be apart for too long and are looking forward to being back in the same place again. Aaron was well prepared to spend months, as this reads, months away from his fiancée, telling Hot Living in September that he understands work comes first for the actress. It's a busy time for her, Aaron said, so the season probably came at a good time for both of us to be able to focus on our work. I think it's going to be a good thing. I mean, her work was shut down for an entire year, and she's booked on a number of projects. She enjoys working on her own routine, which I obviously enjoy too. And then it goes on to read, the pair was never in a rush to walk down the aisle. In July, Shailene said that they hadn't even started planning their nuptials, even though they had been engaged for at least 7 months. She explained, honestly, that's not even a conversation we've had with the world today. We haven't even talked about it. It's not clear how long the stars have dated, as they declined to publicly speak about their romance until 2020. Shailene told The Hollywood Reporter in July that they wanted to get to know each other before going public with their relationship, saying that they wanted to, quote, live in our little bubble. Okay. Then they have this famous picture that they took, and this says, occasionally the fans spotted the stars as they traveled through Hawaii, Arkansas, and Mexico, but they mostly flew under the radar. Quote, you could travel, but you had to have masks on, she recalls. There was a sense of anonymity that otherwise I don't think we would have had. We were really able to get to know one another the way, you know what I think this whole thing, I'll tell you what this is. I'm able to read this entire account, right? Really, is it our business? I think one real problem here is it seemed like they were apart a lot. They had no problem talking to the media about what they were doing. And that seems to me like it's more almost a show relationship, okay? Um, Not that they did it just for media show. They, I'm sure, really loved each other, right? But the fact that they're public figures and the way they handle being public figures, I think was a big issue with with what led to their breakup. Is someone else pointed out on the channel, and I'm looking to find that quote, that he's dated and broken up with people, a number of women, and looking for that right now. Um, it's too bad that this went that way for him, but here's what I look at with this. I'm thinking that when he started dating her, he also became more difficult, demonstrative, and experimental, because he didn't just start dating her or dating and then becoming engaged with her, with Shailene. He went on this Jeopardy tryout. The thought was, hey, he's going to quit football and be the replacement for the late Alex Trebek, right? That didn't happen. And then, of course, there were leanings and that he was, unhappy with and uncomfortable with Jordan Love. Remember that? Okay. Well, that was the previous draft, but in this draft, this last draft, where of last year, the idea basically was, okay, we can coexist, but then he turned around and basically gave this idea that remember Adam Schefter dropped the idea, or that he was going to leave the Packers and all this, and we thought that was going to happen. My point is, it seemed like all of a sudden Aaron's life in different directions, football, relationships, occupation, was in flux. And what I think is going to happen now is that he's going to rededicate himself, and not, I know people are going to take this the wrong way, but I believe he's going to 100% rededicate himself to football and the Green Bay Packers. And the reason I believe this is I think that he discovered where his places are, the places he enjoys. And I think Aaron was going through a kind of midlife crisis. I mean, let's face it, he's getting to that point in life. And I think his version of a midlife crisis was to say, I want to do something else, right? I want to be with someone else. I want to be with this lady. I want to get on with it, be a father, and just junk this and go and relax. And I don't know what, something caused him to change his mind. And I think for Shailene, discovered that Aaron was more conservative politically than she probably thought he was. And I'm pretty certain she wasn't cool with that. Because Aaron came out of a bag and said things where a number of us were thinking, oh, what's on this dude's mind, right? And why would he go there? And it wasn't a good look for him. It wasn't a good look for his many fans. His fans didn't like it, okay? The ones who had wished he wouldn't go political. And yet he did. Then there was talk, he might run for office. So it's quite clear to me, at least, that Aaron, and Alan Ross said this. Alan said, this is multiple women that he came close to marrying and then called it off cold turkey. And Lyncho said maybe wild turkey. That's funny. He has got to figure out who he wants to be. And I don't think he's done that yet. I mean, the one thing that he's got set is that he's the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. And what he needs to do is just simply let things develop around that. But what we saw last year was the full flowering of Aaron Rodgers as a public figure beyond football. I think he got a taste for it, and I don't think he liked the reaction, because he discovered that when you put yourself out there politically in the middle of a sensitive political time, you can lose some luster. And the best way to gain it back is to play your game of football, play it well, and win a Super Bowl. He's the MVP of the league. No one can take that away from him. Because he's not involved in any scandal, right, where that could happen. So he's okay. As for he and Shailene, I have to admit from the jump, as they say, I was not convinced that they were going to stay together. I was shocked. Because Alan talks about multiple women that he came close to marrying, but Shailene herself has, well, some history of moving from one to the other, one guy to the other. Some of us don't meet the Mrs. Right, in my case. And then you saddle with responsibilities. That happens. But I believe that Aaron will rededicate himself. And you know what? He could bag another NFL MVP season in 2022. And I think he will, because I believe that after having experienced what relationship he had with Shailene, I think that on top of his newfound public persona, made him decide what's important in life for him. And reset. And I think this is a reset for him. Obviously, it's a reset for Shailene too. Because if she's going to paint her fingers in a way where it's obvious she doesn't have the ring on, that in and of itself is a sign that something was wrong. And I go back to what I know. What I know is he came out of a political bag on a bunch of people. I can't imagine her having no reaction to that one way or the other, either agree or disagree. I would be shocked if it turned out that she was conservative, given her past. I wouldn't see that. And I don't think she is. And yet he comes off as he is just that. All right, folks, subscribe to Zony62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. We'll see you.